And welcome back to speed round number 7 at the end of the week of who would win. And so let's just get into it. As always, I do about 5 or 6 for who would win suggestions that just don't warrant an actual video in my mind for themselves. Let me rephrase that. They're going to be too short with not a lot to talk about in the video in terms of the level of versus that would happen. So that's why they go into the speed round. And starting off, we have Laurie Strode versus Black Widow from Kid Vidson. Yeah, I can't remember the actual name. Or I butchered the name right. Kid Vidson. Look, yeah, Laurie Strode is the final girl, absolutely, but she's just a person who can shoot a gun. Natasha would kill her in her sleep. She'd kill her before she even got there. Natasha could probably take down Michael Myers, really, as long as she wasn't stupid enough to, get his hands around her throat. But then again, she has her venom sting, whatever it's called, and she'd shock him. Laurie Strode would lose instantly to to Natasha. I'm sorry to say that this would just happen. She's a better marksman. She's more physically in shape. She is a lethal assassin, whereas Laurie Strode drank too much, became a crazy old woman who could just shoot a gun. So, she planned a bit, but she's not intelligent as Natasha. Come on. So, yeah, Black Widow would win that. Hawkeye versus Sidney Prescott, which came to us from The Great Gladiator. This was Sidney Prescott was Kid Vidson, and then this was Laurie Strode was the Great Gladiator. Sorry. This is another one where, Final Girl is great, but Final Girl is only surviving the movie due to plot convenience and the fact that the killer, generally speaking, isn't superhuman enough to survive a bullet to the head. Hawkeye is literally, again, a trained assassin. He has razor-sharp reflexes, can beat people with multiple firearms, trained assassins, has multiple trick arrows, and could probably beat her without even opening his eyes. So, again, sorry to say, this is not a fight. This is a murder. So, yeah. All right, now move on to one that's a little bit more even, let's say. Batman versus Ghostface. This one came to me from... Who was it? Jeremy Klaus, I think it was. Jeremy Klaus, who, and I was surprised no one else had asked this. This one, I will admit, is maybe a little bit closer. It's still Ghost of Batman. Now, to be fair, if Ghostface, say, were in Gotham, this would be a fun little, mini story for Batman to figure out the Ghostface murderer. That'd be kind of fun. But yes, the Ghostface have armored themselves up with, Kevlar. Yes, they seem to be a little stronger than normal people, which I don't understand not in the last one, but in the, 5? And the one before this newest one. I don't quite understand how the girl was able to physically lift Dewey. She said she was the one who did it, so I don't get how she's that physically strong. I don't believe that at all, actually. But, yeah, none of these, save for kind of the most recent one, are really physical threats in the vein of a Deathstroke, or some of the incarnations of the Joker who know how to fight, or Bane, or I don't know, KGBs. People who actually can fight. Batman, Ghostface is just a killer. He's just a killer. Multiple different killers, to be precise, and none of them are peak human. None of them are actually that smart when you really break it down, and even the knife would have trouble. The knife they normally carry would have trouble piercing Batman's armor because that thing is designed to stand bullets and generally can kind of bounce blades off. Just even though it's the Batman Begins, Lucius Fox says, when Batman asks, "Is it terror resistant?" He says, "This sucker will stop a knife." That armor was very durable, and that's just the V1 armor from Batman Begins. Batman's armor is a lot more impressive than that. So, yeah, there's not really any way Ghostface wins unless he somehow manages to get the lucky shot. But then you can make anyone get the lucky shot, so that doesn't really work in my opinion. Then we move on to Joshua, who asked who won a fight. 10-10 versus Kaguya. Do you really need me to answer that question? I'm sorry, I'm sounding a little bit like an ass, but Do you really need me to answer the question? It's Kaguya. 1010, even hypothetically, if she wielded the weapons, the treasures of the Sage of Six Paths would not be able to beat Kaguya. There's no one apart from Naruto and Sasuke with a little aid from Sakura, I will concede she helped, and Kakashi with his Kamui Susanoo, was able to stop Kaguya, or higher level Otsutsuki's. She doesn't have anything to beat Kaguya. Even her elemental release from the Bancho fan, would maybe annoy her. She would just teleport her to a different dimension of either ice or lava or whatever, and that's that. Or hit her with her ash bones and dust her. So, yeah, there's no real way Tenten can win that fight. Realistically, there's no real way. And again, that even if she does use the Bancho fan, which throws out elemental blasts of chakra, it drains so much of her chakra that in the Great Ninja War, she used it once and it just drained her. Which does actually tell you she has a massive amount of chakra despite what her lack of screen time. Even adult Tenten, who probably has more chakra, still wouldn't really play out well for her. So then you get from... Oh, God. I got to read this name real quick. Robin and his anime friends, who win in the fight Saitama versus Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I have the movie version of Sonic here. You didn't specify a specific version. My guess is you're not talking about the Archie Sonic. If you were talking about the Archie Sonic, this would actually be a stomp the other way around, because Archie Sonic can literally move so fast, he can bend reality, literally warp reality because of the Chaos Stars and, use wish powers. That's not power Saitama has. He does not have power to warp reality. At least not in the sense of like someone like the Flash or Sonic or anyone who actually can just, snap someone out of existence, whatnot. But if we're not talking about Archie Sonic, then any other version of Sonic is gonna get their cheeks clapped by a Saitama. Because Sonic doesn't really have chaos control, at least not in the same vein as Shadow does. Even his supersonic forms are temporary. They give him invulnerability, but they're only temporary. His speed is never really illustrated to be as fast as something like the Archie Sonic, who is that fast. He's more like thousands and thousands and thousands. He like certain Machs, levels of Mach is his speed. And Saitama has caught individuals who do move at like near blinding light speeds and manage to keep up with them. Plus, he can just, throw a punch, and if he had to, blow away solar systems. So, durability-wise, too, this Sonic doesn't really have much to hurt Saitama, if anything. Saitama just has way more durability. So while it would be, it's kind of, what was it? Supersonic is the name of the hero turned villain. Yeah, it's kind of like that where he's just fast and doesn't really have the physicality to stop him. Even with Supersonic, that would only last for so long, and it would probably be akin to something like the fight with Boros, where Boros actually was able to smack Saitama around. He just wasn't feeling it. So, yeah. Last but not least, we have from... Let's see here. Was the last person here? Silver Snowstorm? We have Jason versus Master Chief, and we'll look at every version of Jason. And let me rephrase that. We'll look at every version of Jason, but it doesn't really matter, except for one that we can talk about. Every version of Jason, save for one, is going to get immediately clapped by Master Chief. His Spartan armor weighs about 2,000 pounds, I believe, around there. Hence his already impressive physicality. He's able to jump, just clear jumps by bounds. Has multitude of firearms to just blow Jason away, which Jason is not immune to firearms in the least. And physically could easily match him alone. His sword alone could cleave right through him. A machete is not getting through the Spartan armor. So, yeah, if you're going with the original series Jason, Jason Goes to Hell, Friday the 13th, the comics, those Jasons are all getting clapped. Jason X, though, is a little bit of a question. Because Jason X, Uber Jason, is strong enough to rip through sheet metal, or rip through the metal of a ship, survive re-entry into a planet's atmosphere, take explosives to the face, and just shake off gunfire, Uber Jason might be able to compete with Master Chief, just on a durability level. His physical strength, I think, Master Chief still got that edge with the enhancements. And in terms of like combat skill, obviously, Master Chief is the more skilled individual. But they're going to probably be duking it out for a much longer while. Most of Master Chief's weapons are just going to bounce right off of Jason. It isn't until you're probably getting into like laser-based technology that Jason might start to actually get damaged. And even then, it's debate. I mean, let's put it this way. Could Uber Jason survive being thrown to his son? No, I do not believe that for a second. You're experiencing re-entering a planet's atmosphere is nothing compared to that. And when talking about plasma-based or laser-based weapons, you're talking about plasma. That's roughly speaking, star-ish level. Some depending on the type of plasma you're using, but still, Jason I think would struggle with higher degree plasma weapons. And once you get the plasma sword, that's, I think, the real clincher to the fight. Where maybe he comes in with a machete, it gets cut by the plasma sword, Master Chief runs him through, and because it's just sheer plasma, it does just cut right through him. Plus, Master Chief also has multiple shields and invisibility tech as well. Not to mention sticky grenades, plasma grenades, that could help damage Jason. So I think this is the closest fight of the group, and I always have one fight that can go on a little longer than the rest when I do the speed rounds. But I think Master Chief does take it skill, relative durability, and strength to Uber Jason, and weapons that could actually take down Uber Jason. So I think that duo to Master Chief, he definitely claps all the other Jasons. Uber Jason, I think, gives him a straight-out fight, but I think he comes out the victor. This, though, is just my opinion. What do you think on any of these verses? Let me know. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time.